Welcome to Hired in IT. Our mission is simple: help you build the skills that employers actually want. Whether you're trying to land your first IT job, switch careers, earn a promotion, or increase your salary, we're here to help. Every video is thoroughly researched and designed to make complex IT topics easy to understand. If there's an IT topic you'd like us to cover, leave a comment below. We may turn your suggestion into our next video. Turning IT knowledge into career opportunities. In Part 12, we built an incident response plan, because when a breach happens, time is everything. But what if you could stop the breach before it even starts? Picture this. A CFO receives a text from the CEO's number. Wire $150,000 to this account immediately. The transfer goes through. The CEO never sent that text. Business email compromise, BEC, alone cost organizations over $2.9 billion in 2023. This isn't a malware problem. It's a human psychology problem. It's the single most dangerous threat vector in IT. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how these attacks work and how to stop them. By the time this video ends, you'll walk away with 3 concrete skills. 1. You'll be able to identify 6 core social engineering attack types: phishing, spear phishing, smishing, baiting, pretexting, and tailgating by their real names and the specific red flags that give them away. 2. You'll decode the 6 psychological levers attackers pull, the exact same principles behind every con you'll face. And 3. You'll have a practical 5-layer defense playbook you can start implementing this week. No fluff. Just actionable intel. So what is social engineering? Plain and simple, it's the manipulation of people into giving up confidential information or access. Instead of smashing through your firewall with a 0-day exploit, an attacker tricks an employee into opening the door. Phishing alone generated over 190,000 complaints to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center in 2024. The Verizon Data Breach Investigations report consistently shows that phishing or pretexting plays a role in a large share of social engineering breaches by external actors. Here's the mistake almost every beginner makes. They picture these attacks as crude, full of typos, obviously fake. In 2026, AI-generated lures are grammatically flawless. If you're waiting for a misspelled word to spot the threat, you're already too late. Quick checkpoint. What does a social engineering attack target instead of technical systems? It targets human psychology, emotions, trust, and cognitive biases, not code or hardware. If you got that, you're ready to dive into the specific attack types. Phishing is the broad net. The attacker casts a single email to thousands of people. It starts with a spoofed sender, maybe your bank. The greeting is generic: "Dear customer." Then comes the urgency. Your account has been suspended and will be deleted in 24 hours unless you verify immediately. The link looks legit: login.bank.com. But if you hover over it, or long press on mobile, the actual address points to evil.com. In 2024, phishing generated those 193,407 complaints I mentioned. And the common mistake? Assuming you'd spot it by bad grammar. In 2026, AI writes these so smoothly that even a proofreader won't find a typo. The tell is never grammar. It's the sender domain and the link destination. Spear phishing is the sniper shot. Instead of blasting thousands, the attacker targets one person, you. They harvest details from public posts. You just got back from a conference, your CFO's name is on the earnings call transcript, your project name is on LinkedIn. The email addresses you by name, references that project, and comes from what looks like your CFO. The attachment is a fake invoice. The red flag, even if the sender name is familiar, always check the actual email address domain. One swapped letter, like the letters R and N, instead of the letter M, is all it takes to turn your colleague into an attacker. Put them side by side. Phishing is the shotgun. Generic greeting, a vague threat sent to the masses. Your spam filter catches most of it. Spear phishing is the rifle. Your name, your role. A reference only an insider would know. It slides right past the spam filter because the content looks legitimate. Spam filters stop phishing. Only trained human skepticism stops spear phishing. Quick checkpoint. What's the main difference between phishing and spear phishing? Pause. Phishing is generic and sent to many. Spear phishing targets you personally with information scraped from the web. If you got that, you're ready for the next attack vector. Quick checkpoint. An email demands you reset your password within the next hour, or your account will be locked. Which psychological principle is being exploited? Urgency. Attackers create a false time pressure to make you act without thinking. Keeping that in mind is your first shield. Smishing, SMS phishing, hits your phone when you're distracted. You get a text. Your package couldn't be delivered. Click here to reschedule. The link says FedExDelivery.com. It's fake. The mistake people make? They assume text messages are somehow safer than email. Maybe because phone numbers feel more personal. They're not. If you get an unexpected link in a text, never tap it. Open your browser and type the real website address yourself. Every single time. It's 8:15 a.m. You're walking into the office and spot a USB drive on the ground. The label reads, Salary Adjustments 2025. Curiosity kicks in, maybe even a little greed. This is baiting, and it happens more often than you'd think. The attacker's psychological lever is simple. Curiosity and the promise of something valuable. But the drive doesn't adjust salaries. It installs a keylogger. Digital baiting works the same way. Free movie downloads, crack software, leaked check scanner tools, all loaded with malware. The one move that keeps you safe. Never plug in an unknown USB, ever. Hand it straight to your security team. And no, picking it up just to see what's on it on an air-gapped machine still counts as a win for the attacker. Business email compromise, a form of pretexting, cost organizations over $2.9 billion in a single year, according to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. Pretexting is the art of building a fake scenario that sounds legitimate enough to make you hand over the keys. Here's the playbook. The attacker researches your company on LinkedIn, learns the VP's name and the fact that a new sales team just started. Then they call the help desk. Hey, it's Alex, new hire. I'm in an onboarding meeting with Bob right now and my account isn't working. Can you reset my password? The help desk agent feels the pressure. They don't want to be the one who held up the VP's meeting. So they reset the password. The fix is brutally simple. Never verify identity using the channel the attacker gives you. Call the VP back on a known number before resetting anything. Before we test your knowledge, here's a hard stat. In 2024 alone, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center logged over 193,000 phishing complaints, and that's just the ones that get reported. Social engineering is a massively underreported crime. Now, quick checkpoint. An attacker sends you an SMS claiming to be IT support with a link to a security update. What type of social engineering attack is this? Smishing, SMS phishing. The malware that follows could do damage, but if your organization follows a key access control principle we've covered in this series, the blast radius is still contained. We'll circle back to that later, but for now, just know that the name is Smishing. Imagine you're walking into your office and someone follows closely behind you. In the first situation, the person quietly slips through the secure door before it closes without asking permission. That's tailgating, unauthorized entry without your knowledge or consent. In the second situation, the person smiles and says, "I forgot my badge. Could you hold the door for me?" You decide to let them in. That's piggybacking. They received permission, but they gained it through deception or social pressure. The difference is simple. Tailgating happens without permission. Piggybacking happens with permission, even though that permission was obtained dishonestly. The defense is the same for both. Verify identity before granting access. Politely challenge unfamiliar people and never assume someone belongs simply because they're wearing business attire or carrying a laptop. Here's a wake-up call. According to the Verizon 2025 DBIR, phishing or pretexting was involved in 57% of social engineering breaches. But watering hole attacks are stealthier. They don't rely on a click. Instead, the attacker finds a website your team trusts and infects it with an exploit kit. The next time an employee hits that bookmarked page, their machine silently gets compromised. Red flags you can actually spot. Unexpected browser prompts, pages loading unusually slow, or a certificate warning on a site you've trusted for years. If your browser throws an alert, don't click through it. Close the tab and call your Security Operations Center, SOC, the team that handles security incidents. Business email. Compromise, BEC, doesn't use malware. It doesn't use links. It uses a carefully spoofed email from a CEO or CFO during a tight deadline. Wire $150,000 to this account by 4 p.m. for the closing. According to the FBI's IC3 report, BEC cost organizations over $2.9 billion in a single year. The attacker researched an M&A deal, knew the exact amount, and timed it for Friday afternoon when the finance team is tired. The one defense that stops BEC cold: require a second person to verify any financial transfer over a set threshold, using a completely separate communication channel. A phone call to a pre-approved number, not the one in the email. Typosquatting preys on your fingers. You type Microsoft instead of Microsoft, 10 instead of an O, and you land on a clone site that steals your password the moment you log in. Even savvy users fall for this. The strongest countermeasure isn't your eyes. It's a password manager. It won't autofill on the wrong domain, no matter how perfect the page looks. Use one. And if you ever land on a login page and the address bar looks off, stop. Close the tab. Navigate manually to the real site. Quick checkpoint on the physical attack we just covered. A stranger asks you to hold the door, saying he forgot his badge in the car. He's wearing a suit and looks stressed. Is this tailgating or piggybacking? Piggybacking. He's asking for consent, even if the story is fake. Tailgating is when someone follows you without permission. Recognizing the difference is crucial for physical security awareness. Vishing, voice phishing, is a social engineering attack where the attacker calls you, impersonating a trusted entity to extract information or money. But in 2026, AI has turned Vishing into a monster. Imagine this. A CEO records a casual podcast. 3 days later, an attacker feeds that 10-second clip into an AI voice cloner, spoofs his office number, and calls the finance team. "Hey, Melanie, it's Mark. I need you to wire $240,000 to this account. It's for the acquisition. The board approved it. Don't tell anyone yet. Melanie hears her boss's voice, the exact cadence, the slight laugh, and makes the transfer. This isn't science fiction. With AI voice cloning and Vishing as a service operations on the rise, the FBI has noted a significant increase in such attacks. AI makes social engineering physically indistinguishable from reality. That's why you need to understand the psychology, not just memorize definitions. Every social engineering attack works because it exploits human psychology. Instead of attacking computers, attackers manipulate people into making bad decisions. Here are the 6 most common psychological principles you'll encounter. Authority makes you trust someone who appears to be a manager, executive, bank representative, or IT administrator. Urgency pressures you to act before you have time to think. Scarcity convinces you that you'll lose an opportunity unless you act immediately. Social proof tells you that everyone else has already approved the request. Consistency encourages you to continue after taking a small first step. Reciprocity creates a feeling that you owe someone a favor. Whether it's phishing, pretexting, business email compromise, or vishing, attackers almost always combine 2 or more of these psychological principles. Once you recognize the manipulation instead of the message, you'll begin spotting attacks long before you click. And the 2 levers that slam hardest in a single email are authority and urgency. Picture this. An email lands with your company's IT logo, a red countdown timer, and the words, "Final notice. Your mailbox will be deleted in 4 hours." The sender claims to be the IT director. That's an attacker pressing both buttons at once. Real IT teams don't threaten account deletion out of the blue. Any message that invents a crisis and then offers a quick fix is testing your fight-or-flight reflex. Slow down, open a separate channel, Slack, Teams, or walk down the hall and ask. That alone defeats the punch. Now look at scarcity and social proof, the bandwagon effect. A fake login page might display a banner that says, "Only 2 free upgrades left," and a pop-up reading 1,847 users secured their accounts today. Both numbers are completely made up. The attacker wants you to feel like you'll miss out, or be the one person who didn't do what everyone else already did. That emotional jolt overrides logic. When you see these claims, the fix is mechanical. Close the tab and navigate to the real site by typing the URL yourself. If the offer was real, it'll be there in your genuine account. No countdown needed. Familiarity and consistency weave a powerful trap. An attacker clones your coworker's LinkedIn photo, sends a connection request that mentions your shared project, and a few days later asks for a quick file review. Because you already accepted the connection, your brain labels the follow-up as normal. Consistency at work. The attacker used your public work history to feel like someone you know. One concrete guard. Whenever a new connection asks for anything unusual, hop onto your company's real chat app and ask, "Did you just send me a file?" That 5-word verification breaks the spell. Let's lock that in. An email from the CEO with a rush deadline and a line like, "John already signed off." Authority, urgency, and social proof working together. That's the trifecta. Now, a bonus from earlier in the series. Incident response frameworks like the ones NIST publishes contain containment and reporting guidelines that guide you when one of these social engineering lures gets clicked. Here's your red flag field manual. 6 signs that tell you you're under social engineering fire. The sender name and actual email address that don't match. An attachment that arrived with no prior conversation. A link preview that points to a look-alike domain, threatening language that demands instant action, a request for your MFA token over the phone, and a stranger in a secure area with no badge. If any one of these flags waves, hit pause and verify through a channel you initiated, not the one the attacker gave you. Even the slickest phishing email leaves forensic tracks. In Gmail, click Show Original. In Outlook, view message source. The return path reveals the bounce address. If it's a domain completely unrelated to your bank, that's a clear sign of trouble. Scroll to the earliest received line to find the true origin. Here, a server owned by attackers appears. The authentication results field shows that SPF failed, a strong indicator the email did not come from the authorized mail server. Paste these headers into MX Toolbox's header analyzer, and you'll get a clean breakdown of every hop and authentication check. 2 minutes, and you know exactly what hit you. Modern phishing websites often look nearly identical to the real thing. Many even use valid HTTPS certificates, so the padlock icon alone doesn't prove a website is trustworthy. Instead, start with the address bar. Read the entire domain name carefully. Attackers frequently substitute similar-looking characters or add extra words that appear legitimate at first glance. Next, ask yourself whether you expected to visit this page. If you arrived through an unexpected email, text message, or social media post, stop and verify before entering any credentials. Finally, use a password manager whenever possible. A password manager recognizes legitimate websites and won't automatically fill your credentials on fake domains. That simple feature can stop many phishing attacks before they succeed. If you're ever unsure, close the page and manually type the organization's official website into your browser instead of following the original link. No single silver bullet stops social engineering. You need 3 legs that support each other. People, continuous security awareness, and a culture where reporting a sketchy email is rewarded, not punished. Process, clear, rehearsed steps for verifying payment requests, handling visitors, and triggering incident response. Technology, email gateways that strip malicious attachments, phishing-resistant MFA like FIDO2, and endpoint protection that blocks the payload even if someone clicks. If any leg weakens, say tech budget is high but nobody trains the staff, the whole triangle collapses. Training works, but only when it's continuous. Organizations that run regular micro-trainings and simulated phishing campaigns see click rates drop dramatically over time. The key: never punish people who click. Punishment makes them hide mistakes. Instead, reward those who report a suspicious email, even if they clicked first, with a simple "thank you" or a gift card. Run a 3-minute video once a month, throw a 2-sentence quiz into the company newsletter, and make Report Phish the fastest button in the inbox. Before we layer on the technical defenses, let's lock in the attacks. What's the social engineering technique that uses a phone call to trick you? What? Vishing. And the one where attackers infect a site your team frequents? Watering hole. Keep these straight. The exam loves to mix them up. Technology is your safety net. Phishing-resistant MFA, like a FIDO2 security key, stops attackers who steal your password cold because they can't push the button. Least privilege, which we drilled earlier, means that even if an accountant clicks a weaponized invoice, the malware only has that one user's rights, not the domain admin's. An email gateway filters out the most obvious lures before they reach the inbox. and modern endpoint protection watches for behavior, encrypting 100 files in a second, and shuts it down. Layer these, and a single click won't become a breach. Let's cement the technical barrier. What security principle keeps a compromised user from ransoming the whole department? Least privilege. And what authentication method stops an attacker even if they have your password? Phishing-resistant MFA, like a FIDO2 key. Both are essential layers. When that link gets clicked, you need a plan. Our incident response lifecycle, identification. A user reports the suspicious email. That report is the difference between an undetected breach and a 5-minute containment. Then containment. Disable the account, isolate the host. Eradication, wipe the malware, block the sender domain. Recovery, restore from clean backups, monitor for anomalies. Finally, lessons learned. Update the playbook so this never works twice. Speed is everything. Breaches often go undetected for months. A culture that rewards reporting cuts that to hours, and that saves millions. Let's lock it all in. Social engineering exploits human psychology. Phishing emails, Vishing calls, Smishing texts, tailgating right behind you, baiting with free USBs, pretexting with fabricated stories, watering whole sites your team already trusts, and business email compromise targeting wire transfers. The FBI IC3 logged over 193,000 phishing complaints in 2024 alone. Behind every attack is one or more of the 6 principles of influence: authority, liking, scarcity, social proof, consistency, and reciprocity. Attackers hijack these to bypass logic. The defense? A culture of skepticism, security awareness training, multi-factor authentication, least privilege access, and never letting a stranger hold the door. These aren't just concepts. They're the habits that protect your career and your company.